Big five, upper body. In order for some good, strong, healthy shoulders, as typically with any joint in your body, it's going to require a combination of mobility as well as some good activation and some good stability. So I'm going to show you a few exercises here that will target some different areas. When it comes to your shoulders, problem areas tend to be through the neck, through the chest, and through the T-spine, where they don't have quite enough mobility, and then we need some good mobility as well as good activation, particularly through rhomboids, through lower trapezius, and through serratus anterior as well, to make sure we get good, solid, proper mechanics with our shoulder and no impingement going on through our rotator cuff. So the first exercise I'm going to show you, I'm going to go down onto all fours. It's called T-spine quadruped extension rotation. So T-spine is going to be that middle area through our spine, and then I'm down on all fours, shoulder width apart at the knees, shoulder width apart at the hands. I like to place my hand, or my 2 digits right on my temple here, and then I think of reaching my elbow down and in, and then I'm coming up as high as I can back into that rotation extension movement. Down and in, and then up and back. That's 2, down and in, up and back, 3, down and in, up and back, 4. Perform all my reps on one side, all my reps on the other side, or for a given amount of time. With that exercise there, T-spine mobility is super important, especially if you do spend a lot of time sitting. That's one of the causes for a reduction in T-spine mobility, which can affect a whole host of different things, but ultimately it can affect day-to-day living as well as sporting activities. You think of any rotational sport, whether it be volleyball, whether it be golf, whether it be hockey, anything where you have a twisting movement to produce some sort of shot or some sort of force, T-spine mobility is going to be extremely important for that sport. Like I said, neck is another big one. With necks, what I like to do, my favorite stretch personally, is just anchor that hand down. I'll be seated, and then from here I'm going to lean out, and I'm just going to hold this stretch here lightly. I don't want to pull and really yank on my neck, just sort of lean into it and let the weight of your head fall down further and further as you hold that stretch there. All your reps are all your time on one side, and then switch to the other side. Another big area that gets really tight is right through our pec, specifically pec minor. With that stretch here, you want to anchor. I don't have a wall here, but I get the edge of this mirror. Call this a 90-90 doorway stretch, or sorry, a 90-degree pec stretch. So I got my 90 degrees there at the elbow, and then I'm just going to lean forward. I let my chest come out. I'm going to get that stretch right through the anterior portion of my shoulder. Super important for good shoulder health, to really try and make sure this area has some good mobility. Hold it on one side, and then I'm going to switch, hold it on the other side. Again, for rotator cuffs, very often, the most prone joint to injure in your body is your shoulders. Rotator cuff injuries, rotator cuff surgery is absolutely miserable, so you want to do everything you can to prevent that from happening. External rotations, very simple exercise, million variations to it, but just even doing something simple like standing, getting good solid posture, having your elbows a little wing at the side here, so about 15 degrees of space, and then from here just coming out and just feeling your shoulder blades work and move is a great exercise to try and strengthen your rotator cuffs. And then from there, you can add small dumbbells, you can add bands, you can add cables, but even just doing this a couple times daily, a couple times weekly, whatever it is, will give you some good solid injury prevention when it comes to rotator cuffs, shoulders in general. The last stretch I'm going to show you is a little bit of a fancy one. It's called dislocates. You want to start with this one easy and then build up to it. Ultimately here, the more you get mobility through your anterior chest, shoulders, everything in front, the better you'll be at this exercise. And also too, good activation through those muscles right at the bottom of our shoulder blades, super important for stability. So from here, I'm going to start wide. You can use, I got a PVC pipe here, you can use a band, works really, really well for this. A band that has some good elasticity to it. You can use a towel, whatever it is, you just want to have your hands apart. And then from here, I'm going to reach behind the head. I get a good stretch, and then I'm going to come back. And then I'm going to reach behind, and then I'm going to come back. I don't want to cheat when I do this exercise. So I don't want to extend through my lower back. I don't want to let my head pigeon forward too much. I don't want to bend at my elbows. We have to keep those arms straight. And then as you work it, as you get better with that mobility, whether it be through different exercises like your 90-degree pec stretch or just practicing your dislocates, you'll be able to get your hands closer and closer together. And so long as you perform this exercise properly, you don't endure too much pain when you're doing it, it'll help to improve shoulder health as you go. So your big 5 mobility for your upper body, we got T-spine extension rotation, we got that neck stretch, we got our 90-degree pec stretch there, awesome exercise, external rotations, and then your dislocates to add it all together.